I see you.
Can you see the dice okay, Sam?
I can, yeah.
Okay. I got the volume turned up all the way.
Okay.
All right. Now I got to bring up one more laptop down for Mary Ellen. I'm going to join the other laptop onto the podium, so that's going to join in 1 second too. Okay.
Okay.
Do you want me to do?
I need you to just bear with me for 1 second while I put this one up and get going, and then I'm going to help you.
Yeah, I was coming out of California. Supposed to be an office. Always, I made it right. That was my last post. Layoff. I'm in the car 6 to 8 hours. Back to the Carolinas. Church of North Carolina. Virginia for 9 years. You name out here. So I've been away from that. Longer than
Well, principally, you're saying, yeah. Well, I agree with you. We're never this is a different thing. It's an accessory use.
I've never been here.
No,
But I've never talked to them before.
Okay, Mary Ellen, I'm going to grab you a laptop. And I could sit here.
I understand what you're saying.
I know.
As fast as my mother
Yeah, I remember now. Okay, let me bring that down.
Down far enough, kids always push the seat problems down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks good, okay. Run reports.
Okay. Hey, Matt,
Are you
I was
getting
gonna
them?
explain to you what he just said to me.
Nice to, we did meet it when we're voting, that's right. No mask now.
Matt and,
He knows me all, unfortunately.
Bo, as usual, has an alternative anymore. That nobody else has.
That gets whatever he needs. As does Steve Sudet, so I have a comment.
Well, yes. Yeah.
Probably in his car.
So what's new, Karen?
So I'm sure tracking every Sunday.
You dog sick of you at home yet?
Yeah.
My dog died.
Oh, Jesus, I'm sorry. I don't want to hear that.
She,
Yeah,
she
I
died-
know.
she died
I always
very
found a
suddenly.
good place.
She died on
Yeah, we went to
April
one there.
16th.
She
She
was
was
at close.
I was not too. And I was on, I've actually noticed myself.
Okay.
They were giving her a death and she collapsed.
Really, I don't know, like, I mean, it's a year.
What was that about?
Basically.
I don't know.
So I have talking to people and
Melissa, the
stuff,
owner,
so.
said she ran into
Our
her.
kids all live in North
Actually trying
Carolina,
to
and I go to
get her
conferences.
She's
So
how old?
every year when I go down, I'll
immediately.
take 2 or 3 jackets, because I get
How old is she?
I don't know. She was probably, she was,
Yeah.
she was probably, maybe
I
13
started
or
doing that
14.
actually.
And she was,
That's a life. That's a
Yeah.
healthy life.
because I had her for, she was 4 or 5 when I got her. And I thought, And
My husband
she's
went to one.
fairly big
Right here, but it's,
Run
they're,
around.
they're,
Oh, really?
Yeah, so she
Yeah,
probably
they're
took
all-
longer than
they're
she-
expensive. It's a
We're
green,
never-
green.
She has a bunch of
It's-
You didn't want that surprise.
No, no,
Oh, I like it.
it was
Yeah,
very
no,
difficult,
my
but
husband went there.
I'm glad
Once. I went to one and their kids,
that one.
their kids yesterday.
She was an
I
instant
think
TV.
they were, it was like something, it was that
And they
big.
have to put her down.
That's gone. I just noticed that.
It's-
Yeah.
I've done it twice, and it's just like, it's
So
the
I'm pretty
worst
well
thing.
accepted.
I
I
was scared.
rotate through my
So I have
pockets.
somewhat new in the past couple of years, we put AC in the house, air conditioning.
Right.
I found a mouse outside. So I said, I gotta go put a mouse trap in the toy center. So I go to retrieve it. So I was on the phone with animal poison control all Tuesday morning. And then they finally figured out it's an insufficient dose to cause a problem. But it was scary.
Oh, I know.
This is my first.
Especially at my
You can borrow.
own doing. I mean, I did it.
That's like when your kid goes outside, you need to do maybe play oversight.
It's funny you say that.
Poison.
It's funny you say that, because just with all the rain, there's been a lot of mushrooms. You can look at them, don't touch them. Can I touch you with a stick? No, don't even touch you with a stick.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
other alternate.
She's not.
So much of my life is turned into
Oh, yeah,
keeping
right
things
there.
alive.
Yeah.
It's like unbelievable.
Yep.
Karen, that's what I was thinking. Karen was on. Was she an attorney too? I did not get it. I read it online and printed it, but it's sitting on my kitchen table.
No.
My wife called me and was having 2.5 miles away. I was in business, I could be it. My wife called, she was sitting here. I'm gonna leave if I come back. Human resources.
Oh, yeah. I
Good gallery.
What's up, sunshine? Well, guys.
Guys did a good job. One of them, I tried to bring her on.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The other guy, not Marina. Is there another Ben?
Yeah, Ben's my brother, actually. That kid's that's not a movie.
Okay, and not Marina. I thought it was your eye.
Yeah, it was late, 'cause they don't, you know, on the
No, I
podium.
think I was.
Yeah.
But he's a super nice guy.
Yes, Ben.
Yes, yeah, brown hair.
Yeah, that's Ben. Look,
Unless
it's,
you just
uh,
like one at a time.
Yes, so it's
Yeah.
just completely-
They had asked me
When
that.
I get that notice, team, like, so you can see.
We joined
It's been a
the
couple
time.
months, but he's gonna-
I'd rather,
So,
because I don't have any knowledge,
So-
I reach out during and read all this, but I'd rather wait here and
Do that remote.
watch it and kind of just see
So
how
any,
it works.
What's that?
That worked out okay, but I didn't.
Oh, yeah. See, we're sitting there.
Yeah.
So I watched
That's,
those.
I even now.
I've been doing that for decades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then,
Uh,
you want to get rid
Very good.
And then we got, actually, it was going, but,
Yes. Yep, you were on deck. It's called it. Some things are further out.
I came down, people.
Well, some of the jobs can do are large jobs.
I got some work to do, some reading,
Representatives are-
but yeah, I'm in.
And then all the breakers that go in it. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That sounds big.
The breakers are just, you know,
Hey, Chelsea.
so they're slow to.
Hey, what's up?
You know?
I was a little bit.
He's good.
Almost like.
Yes, it's gonna be two.
Oh,
My legal name is Lindsay Cannon.
Don't get near it.
That was my last.
Yeah.
I
I saw the last one.
Do an actual electric. It's amazing how different we all look.
I saw that, and
All
so
recognizable,
Samantha had asked
the
me,
network and the backup.
and I'm like, I know it's
Sorry,
Tuesday,
yeah,
so
crap.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, this is not for me. It's adorable.
Yeah.
Networking all day long.
It's probably bedtime anyway.
Yeah, it's got pump
By the way,
throw it up. No.
I'm gonna start recording the meeting.
we're not out of order.
I had 3 3-year-old, and she is, yeah, you're a neighbor, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Daniel, we were voting, and it's like, Chelsea. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's right.
It's like right around the corner.
I live, on Sunset. Oh, the blue house,
We
you
did a
know,
lot
door.
of electrical work.
I have 2 girls, 2 girls.
Oh, they definitely talk.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. Well, there's 3 and 5-year-olds.
I think it was June son.
No,
Oh, okay.
no, yeah, no, the people contractor. I know probably would have done that, but
I'm not sure.
I remember it's so weird because. And, but then I saw you walking your son one day.
I wired.
Yeah, it's a little girl, it's golden retriever.
As long as they agree.
But yeah, it's 3-year-old, and that's like real thing. 2 was like.
We can talk about
I know.
Right, well, we could, well, for those in the hearing, you can swear them in, right? For those that are on the platform, you want to do
Stanley's
that.
remote. Whatever, I don't want to swear them in. But even in the hearing, I'm supposed to be asking.
The what?
Yeah.
So if someone wants to do the whole thing.
Okay.
Let's use a Broadway there. That's a good one.
It just causes me a lot of-
I know, oh, Joe DeAngelis at Apple. Providence. Different, oh, no, what happened?
We're ready when you are.
I'm sorry?
We're ready when you want.
All right. So we're good. All right.
Yeah.
Sean, are these on, or do we have to do anything tech-wise?
No, so these microphones are not on, but if you can, but this microphone is on. So if you could just, everyone could just speak very clearly and slowly and just allow your voice to project into this microphone, I think we'll cover everything. So,
And Sam, we have you on the big screen here, so if you can't hear us, kind of give us a sign or something to let us know, so we'll operate that way.
Okay, I can hear you well.
That being said, we'll call the July 26, 2021 Richmond Zoning Board of Review meeting to order. First, we'll discuss the remote meeting format for public participation. I spoke with planner Sean Lacey the other day. We're in a bit of a ragtag format tonight in that we're waiting on some technology from the town to be installed. I think I see a massive TV in the back, but nonetheless, we have a few laptops that we're going to operate with tonight. If anybody has any issue hearing us, especially remotely, you could, what do you think, Sean? Have them use the raise their hand function or something along those lines?
yeah, so for those that would want to speak using the platform, we would see their hand being raised and we can call upon them. We could acknowledge who they are.
Okay, so those of you that are remote, typically when you want to speak related to a matter on the agenda, we ask that you raise your hand. For tonight's purposes, if you're having difficulty hearing us at all, I'll ask you to raise your hand to alert us of that. And if we see that indication on the computer, we'll certainly address it as best we can. We're operating under a new format. We're in person here, as you can see. We have a number of folks in the audience. I understand applicants as well as counsel. And we're also operating remotely so that the public can view these proceedings remotely and also participate. That being said, that's my understanding of the new format, unless I'm missing something, Sean.
Nope, you're right on par, Mr. Chair.
Very good. So that brings us to subsection C on the agenda, the approval of minutes of June 28th, 2021. With respect to the board members, any issues with the meeting minutes as drafted?
I'll go ahead and move them, but there is a correction necessary. That would have been on the floor.
All right, is there a second to the motion set forth by Daniel?
Second.
All right, we have a second. Daniel, what do you,
What'd you say? Date at the top, I believe, should be June 28th.
instead of March 22nd?
Yes. And then down under B1, that is correct. That was our meeting prior that we did approve those, so that's fine.
Sam, is that when we were here last, June 28th?
That's correct.
Okay. All right. Other than that, Daniel, nothing else?
So,
All right. So with that amendment, do we need a vote on that amendment, Karen?
No, you can just ask if there's a motion to approve as amended.
Is there a motion to approve as amended?
So moved.
There's a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right. That brings us to subsection D, continued business. This is the application of, and excuse me if I mispronounce this, Ping Zhu, XU, 50 Clearview Drive, Assessor's Plat 6E, Lot 17-29 for a special use permit to establish an accessory dwelling unit in the basement of an existing house pursuant to section 1836040 and section 1852060 of the Richmond zoning ordinance. Is the applicant here this evening? All right, I know at last meeting, there was a question whether or not the applicant was going to pursue this application. Karen, what do you think the best way to proceed is?
My understanding is that they have not gotten in touch with the zoning office. So my suggestion to you would be to dismiss the application without prejudice, which means that if the current owners would like to renew the application, they can do that.
Okay. With that being said, I'll make that motion to dismiss the application without prejudice, meaning the current owners can bring that back at any time. If they choose to do so, when they choose to pursue that matter. Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second that.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
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 That brings us to subsection E, new business. This is the application of Andrew Moran and Kira Crossley, 54 Lewiston Avenue, Assessor's Plat 9E, Lot 16 for a special use permit to establish a dog boarding business pursuant to section 1816030E and section 1852060 of the Richmond zoning ordinance. I understand counsel is here for the applicant.
That's correct. Matthew Callahan, an attorney of offices in Whitford, and I'm representing the applicants. And understand that Steve Surdot is here representing one of the neighbors. I also understand that the staff may have some comments to make before we proceed in any fashion on this matter.
Sure.
I do.
Mr. Chairman, if I could, Stephen started for an abutter. I think that my suggestion is that this matter be continued 1 month. There's some discussions about a statutory prohibition that may be in effect for this type of application. I believe staff may want to confer on that before they come out with a formal statement. So that would be my suggestion, that this matter be continued 1 month. And I have no objection to that, but I do defer to the applicant, obviously.
Unless the staff would like to make some comments, we have no objection to continuing the matter for a month.
Okay, I don't know if any representative of the town staff wants to say anything at this point. If so, the floor is yours.
Mr. Brown and I just discussed this application a few minutes ago, and we have a legal disagreement about it. It might be possible for us to work that out in the
Sure.
next month, and if we can't, then it will be up to Mr. Callahan and Mr. Surdot to make their arguments to
Sure.
you. But it's probably a good idea to continue it for a month.
Absolutely. If there's a way to work it out, great. If not, personally, I have no problem dealing with it in a month. Doesn't seem like anybody else does either. So that being said, let me ask Sam. Sam, when's the date for next month's meeting?
Let me check. August 23rd.
All right. I will make a motion to continue this matter to August 23rd, 2021, at request of the applicant. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, that brings us to subsection.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you very
Callahan, Mr. Sudet. That brings us to subsection F, alternate zoning board member vacancy. We do have a vacancy on the zoning board. We had a member not seek reappointment. Thank her for the time she put in the board, which I believe was all remote, so it was difficult to begin with. So for those out there in remote land watching us and a few folks in the audience, there is a spot on the zoning board that's available. It's an alternate position, and I understand you can apply with the town for that position.
Town clerk's office.
Okay, town clerk's office. And that brings us to adjournment, unless I'm missing anything. All right, I'll make a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
There you go. Didn't expect that. I was expecting much later. So what kind of? 14.